This is log 13, but I'm just now realizing that pretty much all I'm doing on this channel for the last couple months is uploading logs, which, I mean, that's just something that I do consistently, but I would like to get some bigger projects out there, so I'm going to be kind of brief so that I can allot time to working on those bigger projects. Some of the movies I watched this week I'll be discussing in those videos, but we've still got 5 movies to talk about. So, Notorious is a 2009 film directed by Alfred Hitchcock that portrays the life and death of rapper Christopher Wallace, aka Biggie Smalls, and his attempt to infiltrate a group of South American Nazis. It stars Ingrid Bergman, Cary Grant, and of course, Jamal Woolard as the notorious B.I.G. And this was a special interest watch for me based on my love for the rapper and learning out of the blue that they made a movie and I hadn't seen it. This movie has flaws, but I think it gets a bad rep because this is a very enjoyable biopic, albeit probably horribly inaccurate. That doesn't really bother me because, I mean, some of my favorite movies of all time are complete works of fiction. This movie's not like on Straight Outta Compton's level, which is good, by the way, but it's highly entertaining, and I'm stoked to learn that the actor who portrayed Biggie in this film is set to reprise the role in the obligatory Tupac movie that we are just now getting teasers for. So, thoroughly entertaining movie that portrays a great, flawed character, particularly through exploring his infidelity. And I enjoyed this one quite a bit. Say Anything is a frustrating movie for me because it's full of great ideas and loads of potential but lacks follow-through. Like the scene where John Cusack holds up the boombox, like, that's a great moment, but it could have been a great scene. John Cusack is great in this movie, super relatable, very charismatic. The female lead, not so much. There's a lot of melodrama in this movie, a lot of moments that make me cringe. An above average romantic film, but lacking in a lot of ways. Spike Lee directed a Ron Howard movie that probably would have been in better hands with Ron Howard. Inside Man is sleek, charismatic, a lot of fun, but definitely gets bogged down by some of the director's tropes, like, I mean, the guy that refuses to talk to the police without his turban, and the kid's hyper-violent video game, just feel like fickle whims of the director. Like, oh, well, we should have this in it, even though that has absolutely nothing to do with this popcorn flick. I probably should have watched Mommy before making my top 10 of 2014, but if I had, it's not cracking the top 10. And don't get me wrong, the movie's good, but given that this is like the People's Choice for Independent Film of the Year 2014, I was a little underwhelmed. I like what they do with the frame, and there are some moments of relief that are really effective, but I mean, the whole fictitious opener thing is really clumsy and only appropriate, in my opinion, in like when you're about to be introduced to a world that is drastically different than the one you're accustomed to. Also, the song Wonderwall, forgive me for saying that it's so mainstream at this point that I don't think it belongs anywhere outside an Oasis biopic. Some strong moments, generally good visuals, but the movie has a lot of the independent film tropes that make it so that general audiences don't get behind these films very often, and I think that speaks to the quality of this film. My Dinner with Andre is essentially a stimulating, intelligent conversation between two people who are very easy to listen to. And in my book, this is a pretty good movie, but its potential kind of peaks, and that this movie is as good as it possibly could have been, and that's not a 10 out of 10. If you've ever stayed up late with someone talking about love and death and life and ambition, and that's the vibe this movie gives off. But that can only do so much for me in itself. Altogether, I think this was a serious improvement over last week. The binge goes on. Thanks for watching. More stuff in the works. But for now, I'm afraid this is